starting on nerve. So today we got to get those 5 right there kind of on the back side of the house, putting a lot of pine needles on the house and in the pool and all that kind of fun stuff. So we got to get them down. All right, so on this video I'm gonna share a story about the guy behind that lives through the woods there. He thinks that this land is on him, and I thought that I got videos. So on this first day, after a couple hours, he comes over and he's just standing there and shaking his head and all, and the guys are like, oh, I think this guy's upset. But anyways, I'm gonna share about that through this video. All right, let me teach y'all how to fell a tree. Here's what I like to do. I like to find a really high dollar measuring stick, and the first thing you got to do is you got to get it to basically the tip touch the side of your eye right there, and then squeeze it tight in your hand. And what you do is you stand here. I'll let y'all do it. I'll put this camera up here by my eye. You basically put this right at the base of where you're going to notch it, like that. I think that's about right on the camera right there. And then you look up at the top, and you want the tip of these leaves. See, this one looks more like the tree. I like using one with natural with some leaves on it. Right at the tip of the tree, and right here is where the tip of that tree is going to land. Roughly, we'll give it a foot or so either direction. We'll just lay it since it ain't gonna go on the ground. But that right there is where the one tree that I'm worried about, because it's against that fence. That's the one, and it's got a little weight toward the house. So the deal. All right, so back to the guy. The guy lives like right behind where I'm at, and he thinks that this person's property line basically comes up to this fence right here. He's like, those trees that you're cutting are mine. Who told you can cut those trees? Who told you could have them? I said, sir, I don't want to have them. I get paid to remove trees that are too close to houses or whatever. I said, I don't want the trees. I guess he thought I was taking them to a sawmill or something. They are a good size, but anyways, he was really upset day one. So I talked to the people I'm doing the work for here. I said, I'm gonna need to see your property, whatever. I don't have the app. But anyways, they show me the paperwork and property, and this is all their trees for way off to the right. We're gonna get in here and take 5 trees out. Lightning struck back there. There's a leaner back there. These 2 right here are putting lots of leaves on the pool in the house. But what I'm gonna do is I just told her, hey, let me cut this one down for free, and it's gonna make all these easier, because these 2 that are gonna be the hard ones I can lay down right here. And as you can see, she said she's already having issues with grass, so we're gonna use this area that the sod just died anyways, because there's just a lot of shade. I think she needs, once she gets those trees out of the way, it's going to help her a lot. But we're going to use this area to kind of work everything up and chip it and try to stay off the good looking area. So we're going to lay this tree down for free, do the ones we're getting paid for, just to make those easier. And the ones in the back, there's actually perfect little spots for each one of them to fall in between trees and not get stuck in trees. So that's the plan. Let's see if it works. All right, so I want to finish up this is actually back at the neighbor's house, just the next door over. So back at the house that I've been showing video of laying trees down and all that behind the pool, that guy comes over and he was all upset, the first day, and told me, hey, these are my trees, their tree, their fence is on my property, which their fence ain't 10 feet behind their house. Well, he thought that, he said he owned 2.5 acres. Well, they own 3 acres, so he thought that his 2.5 was about the size of 6 acres. He come over the second day and he's like, I've never walked it, but I know this is my property. So they brought out the drawing and the stuff from the city, and when they bought it, and the survey and all that, and showed him, and he still didn't believe it. He says, I want to see the property marker. So we walk. Well, we hike through these woods like 250 yards to the back corner and show him the metal marker, the PVC pipe that's painted orange, and the flags and all that in the very back corner, which is the property line runs, maybe 5 feet off of his back of his shed. But he still didn't, he never, seemed okay with it. He just didn't understand that wasn't his property. He just assumed I think he'd only owned the place maybe 5 years or more. And he just never walked it, never knew where the property line, just assumed that it was his. And boy, he was upset with me. I was, so after we, initially did these trees for this homeowner, and they wanted me to like clean up sticks and do a little bush hogging and do a little weed eating, just because they own several acres too, and the backyard is just, real snaky, and they wanted the kids to be able to play and just like a little more useful part of the property. But the neighbors did the same thing. They wanted me to bush hog back behind their pool and all to make it a little less snaky, a little more useful, just a little more cleaner looking. And as I was doing that, he come over that second day and he was so upset that I was over there bush hogging his property. And so we walked over there with him and just showed everything and said, hey, this is their land. And he kind of just walked away. But these two families were very nice. They were very patient. They were on the books before all the Amory storms, and they were patient, waited on me, and then even gave me more work to do once I got there. So I'm very thankful for them for waiting on me and giving me the opportunity to do good work. And they knew I'd done a little work for them before, and they knew what I was going to do, and they're just really nice to work for. And I'm thankful for everybody that gives me the opportunity to do trees. This is what we love to do. All right, so I'm gonna get a little aerial view of getting done. We laid down 5 trees right in this little corner and laid some off in the woods, some over here. We got everything almost all the way cleaned up. Got to do a little leaf blowing and haul this last few pieces off. And we still got to clean up the woods over there at the neighbor's house. We did their trees yesterday. We got to clean up a lot of dead stuff off in the woods, and we're going to do a little weeding around the edges just to make it look less snaky. And that's it. I think today we shall choose 400. Let's make sure it's sharp. It looks like I freshly sharpened it, but I don't like my depth gauges breaks. I don't like them too tall, so I've got to gas up. These 3 is what I'm going to take in the tree, which I should be able to fell everything with this little 20 inch. I know there's nothing that's 40 inches that I'm cutting, but as people like to make fun of me, I have one saw for every size diameter limb and tree. I like it. I like having lots of saws and super sharp saws. They ain't razor sharp, but they're super sharp. I'm working on getting my razor game strong. I don't think I'm there yet. There's days where I sharpen them, I'm like, man, I need a raise. That's cutting good. And there's other days where I'm like, man, it's cutting okay. Alright, little Echo. This is just a little Echo with a 1/4 inch Pico chain. Little conversion kit. I got like a little baby 10-inch bar. This is my little limmer. I want to buy one of the rip saws or something like that, something that somebody's ported and actually put like a 14 on it and be happy with the way it pulls. This one I've had a 14 on it and it cut good. It just wasn't super fast. I feel like every little bit of chain you get and bar you get, can slow us all down. It's like that 500, you put a 20-inch bar on it and man, it'll be hard. Let me get something. All right, so this is what I do. I've already sharpened. It looks pretty fresh on the sharpening. What I like to do is take my grinder and hit all these depth gauges just ahead. All right, so time is money. Once again, time. Let me get my file. All right, time is money. So I like to have my saws super sharp. I sharpened most of them yesterday, but I'm just on lightly. I just took the depth gauges down a hair. This is about a brand new chain. I think I've sharpened it maybe once. I'm gonna touch these up just a hair. They don't look super fresh. I'm not wasting my time getting in the basket. And then I'll have a saw that's just razor sharp. The guys over there working on yesterday's work. We took down 2 crispy pines laid down about 4 or 5 other little trees that are just dying. Whoever cleared this land whenever they built these houses was just a little rough on all the trees around. They just kind of used some trees, some pivot turn points, and just used them as some pivot trees and just spun trees around on them and stuff. It's just a little rough on them. So all those trees are just slowly starting to die, just because they have such big holes on the side of them and things like that. But anyways, we got in there and took a few more of them out. I'm getting ready to slay these 5 pine trees behind the neighbor's house, which they own a pizza joint, so I'm really hoping. I told her the deal was like, it's X amount of dollars plus 2 Lucille pizzas. So I got a reminder here in a little bit to order those pizzas for us for lunch. I've not forgot that part of the deal. Everything I do is involved around food and restrooms. That's very important. You gotta have both. I'll get this filed and I'll get back to you in a second.